If a woman suddenly goes silent on you, the best move is to do nothing. Don't blow up her phone, don't ask what's wrong, and don't start explaining yourself. The moment you react emotionally, you give away all your power. Most men panic when they face silence. They take it personally, as if something is wrong with them, and that panic leads to desperate actions. They start overthinking, calling, double texting, and sending long messages trying to fix the situation. But here's the secret: her silence is not the real problem. Your reaction to it is. You have to understand, her silence is rarely an accident. She didn't suddenly get too busy to send a simple message. She didn't forget you exist. Most of the time, her silence is intentional, a quiet, calculated move. She's watching to see how you react when she pulls her attention away. It's a test. She wants to know if you'll stay calm and confident, or if you'll break down and start begging for her attention. She wants to see if she can control your emotions without lifting a finger. And unfortunately, most men fail this test almost instantly. The moment a woman stops responding, the average man's ego takes a hit. His mind spins out of control with thoughts like, did I do something wrong? Is she losing interest? What if she's talking to someone else? The anxiety grows so loud that it drowns out logic, and that's when he makes his biggest mistake. He chases. He sends another text. He calls. He writes a long paragraph trying to explain himself or asking if she's upset. He might even post something on social media, hoping she sees it and reacts. He thinks he's fixing the connection, but in her eyes, he just showed his hand. He revealed that he needs her more than she needs him. And in the world of attraction, that is the most dangerous position to be in. The moment a woman realizes that her silence can shake you, she knows exactly how to handle you forever. The mystery is gone, the tension disappears, and her respect for you begins to fade. Because the truth is, she doesn't actually want your explanation. She wants your reaction. And if your reaction is emotional, needy, or desperate, she silently wins. But here's the powerful shift: when you refuse to play that game, everything changes. Instead of panicking or chasing, you stay calm. You don't text. You don't explain. You let her silence be met with your silence. Suddenly, the power dynamic flips. Her test crashes into a wall, and she's the one left wondering why you didn't react. She starts questioning herself. Did I push him away? Did I lose him? Has he moved on? Her silence turns into confusion, confusion turns into curiosity, and curiosity eventually becomes desire. This is the difference between a boy who seeks approval and a man who understands power. By doing nothing, by staying centered and confident, you turn her game upside down. Her silence stops being a weapon against you and becomes a mirror reflecting her own uncertainty. The moment she realizes she can't control you with absence, she begins to feel your presence more than ever. So remember this: her silence is never random. It's a signal, and how you respond to it determines everything. Most men will chase and lose all respect in the process. But the man who stays calm, collected, and untouchable is the man she can't stop thinking about. She might never say it out loud, but she feels it deep down. When a man starts chasing, explaining, or overreacting, she senses immediately that he is not leading the dynamic, he is following it. He is reacting to her instead of standing firm in his own presence. And the moment a woman feels that imbalance of power, everything shifts. Her excitement fades, her attraction cools, and her desire drops, because no woman truly wants to feel like the prize that is being chased without effort. Women want to earn a man's attention, not be suffocated by a man begging for it. What most men fail to understand is that a woman's silence does not always mean rejection. Often, it's a subtle test. She pulls away to see if you can hold your ground, if you can stay in control of yourself. But the more emotional you get in that silence, the more you prove her right. You fail the test. The secret is simple, but it takes strength. Don't chase, don't explain, and don't try to talk her into wanting you. Words will not save you here. Your power is in your restraint. Instead of reacting, hold your frame. Stay calm. Let your quiet confidence fill the space she created. Your absence will always speak louder than a desperate text. And when you do this, something interesting happens in her mind. She starts wondering, why isn't he reacting? Did he lose interest? Is he different from every other man who crumbles under pressure? That shift, from you chasing her, to her thinking about you, is the moment the power begins to tilt in your favor. The biggest trap men fall into is the urge to be understood. They feel this need to explain their feelings, to fix the silence, to clear the air. But true strength lies in being unfazed. In those quiet moments, she's not waiting for a wall of texts or a heart emoji. She's not even wondering if you care. What she is really observing, often without even realizing it, is your response to her distance. She's silently asking, what happens if I pull away? Does he lose his balance? Does he break? This is not about the words you send or the emojis you choose. It's about the energy you radiate. Will you panic and beg for her attention? Will you chase her in fear of losing her? Or will you do the one thing most men are incapable of doing? Will you stay silent, calm, and in control? Because here's the truth, deep down, a woman craves the presence of a man who is strong, not just in his body, but in his mind. Emotional control is what truly sets a man apart. When she goes silent, she is testing more than your patience. She is testing your composure, your ability to remain unshaken. And when you pass that test by holding your ground, you stop being just another man she can manipulate with silence. You become the man she cannot ignore. What she truly wants to know is simple. Can this man stay grounded, even when I give him nothing? Can he hold his center when the attention stops, when the replies vanish, and when the connection feels uncertain? Most men can't. They panic. They scramble for reassurance. They send texts, over-explain themselves, and try to prove their worth. But when you don't do that, when you remain calm, collected, and silent, something profound begins to shift inside her. Suddenly, she feels something rare. She is in the presence of a man who does not break. A man who doesn't need her validation to feel strong. A man who doesn't feel the urge to explain, to chase, or to beg for attention. A man who holds on to his power rather than giving it away at the first sign of distance. That energy is magnetic because it challenges her. For the first time, she isn't sure if she still has control. She begins to wonder, is he slipping away? Is he thinking about me? Or has he moved on? And that uncertainty is the spark that ignites desire. Uncertainty is powerful because it creates emotional tension. It makes her mind spin. It creates curiosity. And curiosity always leads to attraction. That attraction doesn't come from you chasing her or smothering her with comfort, it comes from silence. The moment she feels that tension, the entire dynamic flips. Now she is the one thinking about you. She's checking your profile. She's wondering where you went and why your attention is no longer guaranteed. She's feeling the weight of your absence. This is what she truly wanted to see from the start. Whether you had the strength to step back and the confidence to let her feel that space. Because desire, at its core, is not born from comfort, it thrives in uncertainty. Most men make the mistake of thinking, if I'm always there, if I respond instantly, if I show her how much I care, she'll want me more. But the opposite happens. Constant availability kills tension, and without tension, there is no spark. Let me be clear, women are not drawn to what is overly safe, predictable, and easy. They are drawn to what makes them feel, to the man who can stir emotions they didn't expect. And this isn't about playing toxic games or manipulating her. It's about allowing space for curiosity to grow naturally. When you step back, when you hold your frame and stay silent, her mind does the work for you. She starts asking herself, why did he stop texting? Did I push him away? Did I say something wrong? Is he losing interest? Or, is there someone else? Those questions aren't harmless. They are emotional triggers. Each one pulls her deeper into an emotional loop where she is thinking about you, wondering about you, and feeling something she can't fully control. And here's the secret most men never learn: when a woman is confused, she is emotionally invested. Her brain is searching for answers, her heart feels unsettled, and her ego feels slightly off balance. And in that space, you live rent-free in her mind. Desire is not created by constant comfort. It's created by movement, by emotional highs and lows, by the quiet moments where she suddenly realizes she doesn't fully know where she stands with you. That subtle uncertainty is where attraction grows into obsession. But here's the key: you cannot fake it. You must genuinely be willing to walk away. Not as a punishment, not as a trick, but because you understand the truth: being too close, too available, and too predictable kills curiosity. And curiosity is the open door to desire. That open loop in her mind, that quiet question she can't answer, is where obsession begins. So stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to prove yourself. The man who can hold his silence, trust his value, and let her feel his absence, is the man she won't be able to stop thinking about. When a woman suddenly stops replying to your messages, most men make the same mistake: they assume it's random. They convince themselves she must have been busy, or she forgot, or maybe her phone died. But the truth is usually very different. A woman's silence is rarely an accident. More often than not, it's a deliberate move. She goes quiet to observe, to test, and to see how much control she truly has over your emotions. Women have a natural instinct to sense strength and weakness without words. When she ignores you, she's not just disappearing into thin air, she's watching, silently, to see if you can handle it. Her silence is a mirror, reflecting your emotional stability, or lack of it. She wants to know, will you hold your ground, or will you crumble the moment she pulls her attention away? Will you remain calm, or will you start chasing like every other man she's ever met? And this is where most men fail. They take silence personally. Their ego starts screaming, and the panic sets in. They imagine the worst: did I do something wrong? Is she losing interest? Maybe she's talking to another guy. This emotional storm makes them do exactly what she expects: they break the silence first. They double text. They call. They send long messages asking if everything is okay. Without even realizing it, they give away all their power. Machiavelli said it best: the man who begs for love will be rewarded with disrespect. The moment you react emotionally to a woman's silence, she feels it. She may not say a word, but deep down, she senses the imbalance. She now knows you're not leading, you're following. You're not grounded, you're reactive. And that simple shift kills desire faster than anything else. So understand this: when a woman goes silent, it's not always rejection. Many times, it's a calculated test to see if you can keep your composure. If you fail, you confirm her suspicion that she holds the power. But if you pass, if you stay calm and let your silence speak, you plant the first seeds of obsession. The biggest mistake men make when a woman ignores them is falling straight into the trap of emotional reaction. Her silence touches their ego like a live wire. Suddenly, everything feels wrong. They start overthinking every word they said, replaying conversations in their head, and asking themselves 1,000 questions. Did I upset her? Did I say something stupid? Is she losing interest? What if she's talking to someone else? That anxiety grows louder and louder until logic completely disappears. And that's when most men self-destruct. They grab their phone and send another text. Then another. Maybe even a long paragraph explaining how they feel, apologizing for things that weren't even mistakes, or begging for a response. Some will call multiple times, leave voicemails, or post something on social media, hoping she'll see it and finally break her silence. But here's the painful truth, every one of those actions screams neediness. It tells her, without words, you control how I feel. And the moment she senses that, the power dynamic shifts completely. She realizes she doesn't have to give you her attention, you'll chase it. She doesn't have to earn your respect, you already handed it over. This is the trap most men never escape. They feel a desperate need to be understood. They believe that if they can just explain themselves, or show how much they care, she'll come back. But the reality is, every emotional reaction you give her only confirms that you need her more than she needs you. And in the world of attraction, the person who needs the other the most always loses. Worse, once a woman sees that she can control your emotions with nothing more than silence, she knows exactly how to handle you from that moment on. The mystery dies. The tension fades. And your value in her eyes begins to crumble. Because deep down, she doesn't truly want a man she can shake so easily, she wants a man who remains unshaken, no matter what. Now that you understand the trap most men fall into, it's time to learn the Machiavellian approach, the method that flips the entire situation in your favor and makes her silence work for you, not against you. The secret is deceptively simple. Do nothing. When she ignores you, resist every urge to react. Don't text. Don't call. Don't explain. Instead, hold your frame and let your quiet confidence do the talking. This is where true power lies, because while every other man panics and chases, you become the rare man who remains still, unshaken, and untouchable. Here's why this works. Her silence is a test. It's her way of saying, I'm going to pull away and see if he loses himself without me. But when her silence is met with your silence, the test collapses. Suddenly, she isn't in control anymore. She expected a reaction, some sign of weakness, but all she gets is stillness. And in that stillness, the power shifts. Psychologically, curiosity starts to take over her mind. She begins to wonder, why isn't he reacting? Did he lose interest? Did I push him away? Or is he different from all the other guys I've tested? This confusion is powerful because confusion turns into curiosity, and curiosity eventually becomes desire. You've flipped the game. Instead of you thinking about her, now she's the one thinking about you. This is the essence of Machiavellian strategy. Power in relationships is rarely about who talks the most, it's about who can stay calm, detached, and in control when the other person tries to create chaos. When she realizes her silence doesn't move you, that she can't shake your confidence, she starts to feel something unexpected, the fear of losing you. And that fear is what triggers her obsession. By refusing to chase and by holding your frame, you change the rules of the game. You go from being the man seeking approval to the man she is now desperate to understand. This is the psychological pivot that turns her indifference into attraction and eventually into obsession. So, how do you take this even further? How do you turn her curiosity into obsession and make her chase you, even if she's blocked you or pulled away completely? This is where the Machiavellian psychological move comes in. The move is not about words. It's not about sending the perfect text or trying to reason with her. In fact, it's the exact opposite. The move is to live in such a way that your absence is louder than your presence. When she ignores you, you don't try to explain yourself. You don't chase. You vanish, not in anger, but in calm, quiet confidence. Then, you subtly show through your life that you are thriving without her. This is not about posting desperate attention-seeking content or trying to make her jealous. It's about demonstrating strength, purpose, and emotional independence. Post photos or updates that show you living well, improving yourself, or having a life she is no longer part of. Spend your time building your body, your skills, your lifestyle. Become the man she thought she could shake but couldn't. Why does this work? Because silence combined with visible self-improvement triggers the most powerful emotion in the human brain, fear of loss. She starts to realize that you are not sitting around waiting for her. She feels your absence growing, and she begins to question her own decision to ignore you. Slowly, her curiosity will turn into tension, and that tension will force her to act. She will start to check your profile, look for signs of you, and eventually, she'll reach out, because she can't stand the thought of you moving on without her. And here's the truth, even if she blocked you, this psychological pressure still works. Because a block is rarely permanent, it's often an emotional reaction meant to provoke you. If you remain unbothered, live well, and let time do the work, her curiosity and fear of losing you will grow until it overcomes her pride. That's when she unblocks you and reaches out, because your emotional strength has done what words never could. This is the final Machiavellian principle: power belongs to the man who controls himself. When she realizes she cannot control you with silence, she will chase the very attention she once withdrew.